July 1st, 2018, 9:20 a.m. A high-security prison just south of Paris, one of the largest, most advanced, and most heavily guarded detention centers in France. Hundreds of correctional officers patrol the facility. Massive 17-meter concrete walls topped with razor wire surround the prison. Heavy armored gates seal every entrance, while the courtyards are protected with anti-helicopter netting. On each of the four watchtowers, armed snipers stand ready with assault rifles. Inside solitary confinement, cell 207, inmate number 00100189, waits quietly to be escorted to the visitor's room. He is considered one of the most dangerous prisoners in France. Authorities have linked him to more than 30 armed robberies. Several involved hostages. One cash-in-transit robbery ended with the tragic death of a police officer. On two separate occasions, he escaped police capture directly from crime scenes. And in 2013, he carried out one of the most daring prison escapes in French history, using a smuggled firearm and explosives to blast his way out of another maximum security prison. Two guards unlock his cell and perform a thorough search. They notice something unusual in his pocket, but it turns out to be nothing more than a pack of chewing gum. Surprisingly, many of the guards actually like him. Despite his notorious criminal history, he is calm, friendly, and often cracks jokes. He seems completely at ease, almost as if life behind bars doesn't bother him at all. Just 20 kilometers away, 65-year-old flight instructor Stefan B. is preparing for another routine flight lesson. His two new customers, Frederick and his son Julian, appear excited. They insist they don't want to fly the helicopter themselves. They simply want to experience the ride and observe. However, they make one specific request. They want to fly in the Alouette 2, a rare vintage helicopter from the 1950s. They admire its classic design and claim they've always wanted to see it in action. Something about the pair feels slightly off. Years later, Stefan would admit that he found their appearance unusual. He even suspected they might have been wearing wigs. But they paid €500 in cash without hesitation. Business was business. Back inside the prison, the inmate is escorted toward the visitor's room. The visitor's block for high-risk inmates, if it's situated as far away from the prison entrance as possible. Prison management has been on edge for a while. Noticing a change in the inmate's behavior, he's received more visits and seemed to be sending coded messages during phone calls. His casual vibe with the guards could be a tactic to extract useful intel. A couple of days ago, a drone was spotted scouting the facility from above. Stefan is waiting for his students on an open field. He's landed on the clearing because they said they needed to stop to pee. They stepped out and disappeared behind some trees when they returned. They're armed. They claim to know his family and his home address. They say they have been watching him for months and that their accomplices are waiting at his house as they speak. If he doesn't do exactly as they say, his family dies, they'll tell him where to fly next on the visitor side of booth number 50. The inmate's older brother is waiting to see his sibling. He has no idea that his little brother is about to pull off the most spectacular prison break in French history. Music video player customization. Music W. Music, the prisoner calmly waiting for his helicopter ride, is ran-fed. He's the country's most infamous criminal. He's also a best-selling author, a movie buff, and adrenaline junkie. And to many in France's immigrant suburbs, he's also a legend. But to understand all this, we need to go back to the beginning. 1978, a suburb near Paris. This is 6-year-old Ran, he's still kindergarten, browsing through a newly opened store with his brother, who's 2 years older than him. There's not a single thing in this shop the two could afford. Their parents are Algerian immigrants. The father works in a factory. The mother cleans houses at home. The boys shared a cramped 3-room apartment with 9 other siblings. The social housing block is surrounded by wealthy suburbs full of wealthy French kids. Gon and his brother do not fit the mold, and the store detective makes sure they know it. He calls them Pedi, merges a racial slur, Illyrian immigrants. But other than that, he doesn't really pay attention to them out in the parking lot. The brothers divide up their haul. It's Lean's first theft ever. A couple of weeks later, he gets caught. His parents are furious, and his father whips him 20 times with a belt. His mother makes him promise he will never steal again. Around this time, Ran discovers the world of film, especially French crime, thrillers, and American gangsters movies. He watches them on repeat. memorizes entire scenes and acts them out at home for his family by his teens. Stealing isn't just survival anymore. It's a way of life. He and his friends swipe TVS, stereos, VCRs, car radios, and computers. They use the money to buy Adidas sneakers and flashy tracksuits. But more than anything,